What's up, WWE Champions Universe? Welcome to Champions Chat, a brand new podcast dedicated to the WWE mobile game, WWE Champions mobile game.
Brand
I'm the
new?
disciple. What happened?
What? Brand new? I mean,
Well, it's brand new. I didn't even get to the intro, Lee.
I'm
You've already
sorry.
interrupted. It's just like old times.
I'm covering my mouth.
It is brand. Well, it's brand new, like the Undertaker. It's like kind of back from the dead, like right. Okay. Let me get through that intro. I'm the disciple, Rusty Graves, and with me, as always, the big boss man, Lee Brown. What's up, Lee?
I'm covering my mouth. I ruined the intro.
That's your cue to come.
Oh, see, it's been so long since we've done this. What's up, Rusty? How you doing?
We got some. We got
I'm
some
messing
ring
with
rust.
you. I'm messing with
right?
you.
The old ring rust. Kind of like when a lady has a baby and then tries to come back wrestling, and she's got that ring.
Are you saying I look pregnant?
I'm still grieving in my own special way. The Carmella disappearance. Yeah, go have your baby. Sure, we'll love to have you when you come back. Oh, your husband's job, we're going to give it to this loudmouth football kicker. Good luck with it. Oh, you're having another baby. Okay, R.I.P. We'll see you.
Wow.
A little salty about Carmella.
I couldn't tell.
But then again, we have the new and improved Carmella, Chelsea Green. I think they're basically the same character, and Chelsea does a better job with it. So,
Ooh. Wow. We're already back with hot takes with Rusty, and we've only been going for a minute.
These are the takes the community has been missing.
They have.
During our parts unknown disappearance from the airwave. Hot gossip. There's a rumor we all got canceled, Lee. Did you hear that?
Oh.
That we got canceled as content creators?
I saw that. I heard Merrick's was getting DMs asking why he was kicked off the official CC team. And he's like, wait, this is news to me, guys.
Well, let me just tell you a little truth. I work, and as well do you, for a nonprofit. It's really hard to fire a volunteer. So let's just leave it with that. No one's canceled.
Right.
We're all still here. And they can't get rid of us because we do this for free.
True story, bro. True story. Yeah.
Well, Lee, how about a life update? What in the hay have you been up to? You look thinner. You look like you've got some sun exposure on some level.
Yeah.
You look taller.
Thank you.
More handsome. I am now 3 inches shorter, 50 pounds heavier, and have aged 20 years since our last podcast.
I sent it all your way. Wow. Yeah. Since our last, I don't even remember when we did our podcast last time. That's how long it's been. We've been doing our streams on Friday, which got canceled. No, which we're not doing on the official channel anymore. But
so S. Gordo just said no one's canceled, but in typical Scopely fashion, they just rolled it out for it. Whoa! Bazinga!
Shots fired. Oh. No, so I took on a second job, not to clarify, I think I did put this on the podcast at one point, but not because I do too many polls. Just the needs of the nonprofit that I work for made it to where I needed to pick up some slack elsewhere. So I now work for the city that I live in and had to go through an academy and some things like that. So I graduated on Wednesday, but my whole training process goes until October. So we're still going to be a little wonky on my end, but I should have at least 1 day a week back because the academy was 5 days a week, 10-hour days, and now I'll be working 4 days a week, 12-hour days. So I get a day back in life now. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I don't want to dox you. I don't want to say where you live or what you're doing, but I can only, if I were a listener, I would speculate that you are now a certified garbage man who works for the city in which he lives in. Because no doubt, there's probably a really fun garbage man academy that you have to go to learn how to drive those trucks,
right?
To learn how to use the robot arm that picks up the cans,
all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think. No shade against garbage men. I think that's probably. I've heard it's a very lucrative job. Anyway,
Except
so
for Duke the Dumpster Drosy, because apparently he got busted for some bad things. So we're not going to
or,
talk about that on this podcast, though.
or speaking of, has there ever been a garbage man in WWE? Maybe the Repo Man would kind of count.
Duke the Dumpster, that was the guy. Yeah.
Well, but wasn't the Repo Man actually Smash from Demolition, the same
Demolition, yeah.
guy? And wasn't he also like Doink 2, if I remember? I think it was all the same guy. There was like
No,
a
Barry
Doink.
Darso was Smash, and the guy who played Doink, well, he might have been one of the Doinks, because the guy who played Doink originally got kicked out, but that was Matt Bloom. Or, I'm sorry, not Matt Bloom. Matt Bloom is Albert. It's a different guy, though.
Okay, all right.
What's up, Slim Numbers?
Life update for me, Lee.
What have you been doing lately, Rusty?
I'm in grad school. I am now, of the 60 courses needed to, 60 hours needed. I'm sorry, 60 hours needed to complete my graduate degree. I have 12 courses left, so I'm about 2/3 of the way there. I'm finished for summer, and my wife has recently graduated law school, so she's going to be in the process of becoming an attorney. And really good. She just graduated, and we've been on some level. That's been the major thing on our radar, was getting her through law school, and so very excited that she's going to be taking the bar and doing all that stuff. I'm in the process of completing my ordination as well. Some of you guys know the nonprofit I work for is actually a church, and I am becoming. I literally never talk about this, but I'll just throw it out there today. Feeling spicy is I'm going to be an Anglican priest. I'm going to be an Anglican priest. So I am currently a pastor. Currently a deacon, ordained as a deacon. I should be ordained into the priesthood probably the end of summer, early fall. We'll keep you posted on whether or not that ever happens. And then I can get a Reverend Devon gimmick going whenever I become a priest. You know, you call me the Reverend. So yeah,
Rev Russ.
Nice. Lee, I've got some show notes here. I thought we would just do kind of like what we used to do in the old days was every so often we would do what we call State of the Game episode. Just talk about where is Champions, what does it mean for the community, what are we perceiving as the good, the bad, and the ugly in the game. And specifically, I have some questions as it pertains to this State of the Game that I do not know the answers to. And the whole reason for this podcast was actually for Lee to teach Rusty how to play Champions. So we're going to go back to our bread and butter, going back to what works. I'm going to get my Champions tutor, and you're going to have a little bit of fun with us today. How's that sound?
That sounds good. So, Rusty, what do you think is the state of the game?
All right. So in case you're watching this not live with us on our Twitch channel, first of all, you need to join us on Twitch. Subscribe, twitch.tv/Champions Chat podcast, so that you can get the notifications of when we go live. We're no longer a Friday night exclusive show. We can go live whenever and however we want to, baby. So join us, and we're on our channel, so we don't even have to be like politically correct or anything. We just say whatever. Just kidding.
We can say whatever. Whoa! What did Rusty just say he was getting ordained for?
I said we can call the posters cards. Finally, we can talk about
Flex was doing that anyway on the Friday streams. So,
right. So State of the Game. This is May 2025. We are exactly 1 year into the 1 year to the date almost of the 6-star gold meta. It's been a year since Gold Vibes came out. 6-star gold meta. I realized this weekend in Showdown, the most glaring observation, State of the Game, is if you don't have tier 6 medals, your best characters are no longer good enough. That if you go into Showdown, if you go into feud with tier 5 medals, they will kick out and you will be mad. That's at least based on my game experience this weekend. Lee, what say you to that? Is tier
Well,
6 now the norm?
it's becoming the norm, but keep in mind they did a special thing this weekend with Showdown where certain eras got boosts. So,
Uh,
like if you were facing off against a modern era, they had twice as much health. So therefore, they were able to kick out. I
okay.
know that's not necessarily tied to kick out, but their health bar, their ability to kick out goes down as their health bar goes down. So when they have
Right.
twice as much health, they kick out easier. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but tier 6 absolutely, like Merrick's did a great video on how monumentally different tier 6 is. We're going to do a power rating if we get time on this stream, but not during the podcast, but during the stream. But we've been waiting to hold on the damage category, like what the next meta is, because I think, and you think, and we'll get to it, that 7-star or something similar is coming probably next month. But tier 6 alone changed the meta. Tier 6 alone is amazing.
Put a pin in 7-star. I do want to hear from you about that. Should we scrap all our tier 5 medals? Vikings made it in the chat, has already said, I've been deleting all my tier 5 medals. Is that wise? Is that foolish? Is that what we should be doing? Let's assume Fury 1s scrap immediately. Takedown 1s, armor 1s,
Yeah.
vitality, scrap it.
Yeah.
But what about Fury 2 tier 5 medals with the 200% move damage bonus? Are those still valuable?
Yes. So I would say don't get rid of everything right away unless you already have enough tier 6 that your top characters all have tier 6. I would say I'm now higher in the community than I was, last time we did these. And I mean, I've got enough for a handful of characters to have tier 6 medals on them. But the difference between tiers, if nothing else, tier 6 has no flats. So you'll see some of your tier 5 medals that they're like, black gems do 45 more damage. And you're like, that's not even a feather on your toenail right now. That is nothing. But all of the tier 6 are pure percentage based. So as soon as you can get to tier 6, you want to start scrapping all your tier 5s. But I wouldn't say anybody's there yet.
Let me ask this. Okay, realistically, I've got about 6 complete sets of tier 6 medals. They're not all Fury 3s.
Yeah.
But they're 6 complete sets. I'm a fairly competitive player. Okay,
Right.
so I'm assuming people in a higher faction than me have more, and I'm assuming people in a lower faction than me have less. So I've got 6 sets. Should I scrap every single flat damage medal in my inventory based on what you just said? Tier 6 doesn't have, it only has percentage, so if it has flat damage, is it trash now? Is it currency, essentially? Not trash, but is it conversion currency?
It's getting there, yeah. Again, I wouldn't strip your roster so they have nothing left, but anything you have extra that's sitting there that isn't percentage based, I would go. Especially the main stats, like you mentioned, the 200%. Like you might not have enough takedown 3s. Or, for example, I can't get a specific color in takedown 3s that I need for one of my characters. So the 200% on a tier 2 or Fury 2, takedown 2 is still a lot better than my takedown 3 incomplete set. So I'm still going to keep those ones. But for the most part, we're getting to where anything flat needs to go at this point.
Should you only run
reality.
tier 6 in complete sets?
Well, if you don't run it in a complete set of 4, that is a big difference from Fury 2 and Takedown 2. You could run 2 and you would get the set bonus twice. For Takedown 3s and Fury 3s, you have to have all 4. So if you don't get the bonus. You don't get the 100% bonus. But you do have all those substats that may still make it worth it to run an incomplete set of Fury 3 and Takedown 3. You just got to look at the substats. You got to look at what percentages each thing is doing now.
Okay, so I'm taking some notes here. Scrap, essentially, sweeping generalization here, but if you can afford to, scrap all flat gem damage.
Yep. Flat move damage if you
Scrap
got it.
all, scrap all takedown 1.
Yep.
Scrap all fury 1.
Yep.
Scrap all Rainmaker loot medals. Oh, hello,
Ooh, I almost scrapped my Rainmaker strap actually because of the new setup.
Yeah, but the medals for it, it was like loot gems do 2,500 more. Like,
Right. Doesn't do
there were the
good.
Make It Rain medals. Nobody needs those. Scrap all of armor 1,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
Vitality. That's
I just don't
another
even
one,
keep
right?
vitality at all, period. So,
Isn't there another one that's like, I don't even remember what it's called. I just chuck it. It's not armor or vitality, but it's like a something else like that. Like one is gem damage, the other is move damage, whatever that thing is called.
power, padded.
Padded, scrap all padded,
Yeah.
correct?
I
Okay,
unless a move damage meta, which we'll talk about tier 7 stars or whatever's next, but unless a move damage meta comes back with a vengeance, padded does nothing right now.
okay, all right. Okay, so I'm making notes, and I just think it's helpful because this is first and foremost, this was an audio podcast, so there's someone out there listening to audio. In the way I kind of bullet point the stuff, I feel like it helps people retain it as they go, okay, when I get home, I'm going to, scrap all the padded metals and do all that. So we're saving Fury 2s with percentage. We're saving Fury 2s, especially with the 200% to the color move. And are we saving takedown 2s?
For now, unless you get enough takedown 3s that so again there's some hunching suspicions that whatever comes next, whenever it comes, which we think is 7-star and we think is probably next month, but that's all speculation, nothing insidery here. If it's a move damage meta and you don't have enough takedown 3s, then you want as many takedown 2s as you can still. But if the more you get enough takedown 3, Fury 3, the less you need the 2s.
Okay. Are we scrapping all non-white straps? Are we scrapping all non-ultimate straps? Is there any value in any non-ultimate strap?
Affiliation. Do not scrap any affiliation strap for any reason, because you never know
There it
when
is.
you might need that.
Okay,
So.
that's actually my next show note, Lee. Perfect segue.
There you go.
I see a softball. You chose to hit the home run. But I need some help understanding affiliation straps. Okay?
Yeah.
Conceptually, I know how they work. But what I don't know is where to get them. I don't know how to remember to search for them, how to remember who needs one, how to, and much like my actual life, I'm fairly poorly organized when it comes to affiliation straps.
Right.
So, first of all, you said don't scrap any affiliation strap. Just talk to us, kind of spitball about that.
Yeah, so every character in the game has a shelf life, right? I was looking back on some characters that I used to love 2 years ago, and unless they get a rework or something crazy happens, they start to fade into the background. But if they have a good trainer or coaching ability, they will always stay relevant, or potentially, right? So any affiliation strap you can get, you never know when you might need that specific era or whatever combination. There's Affiliation 2 and Affiliation 4. Affiliation 4 you can put on 4 people. They're super rare. In the Austin prize wall right now, there's a chance to get Affiliation 4, but it's super rare still. It's mostly 2. But it could also go IOW. So this is just for those who are watching right now on the Austin weekend, but they're doing this more, so it does have shelf life beyond this, is they're doing it where IOW shows up as a random in the straps as well, and there's just not enough icons of WrestleMania straps with affiliation. The only way you can get them is through the Gemmania shop there, and again, it's super random drop. So Any IOW strap you can get. Oh, Rusty just disappeared. Anything along those lines. Make sure, like Rusty disappeared hardcore. Let me put you back on here. There we go.
I dropped right when you said super random drop. I just
Boom, you're gone. Nice. But
hilarious.
like, for example, I got a affiliation strap last month that was for any Mexican, and that's the way it's described. I'm not using words wrong. That's just the way it's described. So anyone who is affiliated as Mexican in the game, but that means that my IOW Rey Mysterio was able to use that. So you never know. Just always keep your affiliation straps, regardless of what color they are, because if you're using an affiliation strap, you're 90% of the time not trying to do huge damage with that character. They're only there for their coaching ability. So you don't care what the strap is.
So IOW straps are in the Stip Tour shop.
Yes.
So I I figured this out the other day. The strap filter, I can actually go in and I can use the strap filter and I can select the whistle. And if I select the whistle, I can actually see what my affiliation straps are. Do you think most people know to do that or have done that?
Probably not. I didn't even know until Merrick's mentioned something about that. For like, you can also go in and select tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then eventually 6. Like, you can go in and select tiers 1 through 4 right now and just hit sell all, which is huge. Save me so much time.
Ooh, I just learned. See, this is the heart of Champions Chat. Is Lee teaching Rusty how to play this game? So, okay, so let's say I go in there and I use the strap filter and I search all. Let's say I have 40 affiliation straps, all genres, all classes. How do I determine, like, great example, Big Papa Pump, someone who's kind of on the verge of, he could be maybe one of my better Attitude Era, he could be one of my better Showboats, powerhouses. He's not, but I'm saying he could be some in the community's best, right? How do I know if he needs an affiliation strap versus his ultimate strap with his plates, with his medals? Like, does getting an affiliation strap mean you're now in retirement and I'm no longer going to use it competitively? I'm no longer going to use it for tours and feuds and.
Yeah, I mean, like, think of Bailey. Zombie Bailey is one of the best coaches in the game, and I have an affiliation strap waiting for her, but I'm still using her as a fighter, so I'm not going to put an affiliation strap on her. Although you can for specific events. Like, you can swap out the strap. You know, it's not like the plates where you have to have the plate mover currency that you get so little of. Like, you can swap straps around pretty easily. But just look at your character, and if you see that it's a coaching ability or training ability that you use widely, and you don't use them as a fighter, that's an immediate give them an affiliation strap and call it good. If it's a character that you use competitively, like a Zombie Bailey, I'm not ready for her to go to the retirement home. But yes, I mean, once I put an affiliation strap on someone and leave it there, that's a sign I'm probably not using them as a fighter unless I absolutely have to.
Right. So like Tech Gunther would be a great example of affiliation strap, and I'm never looking back. I don't want to use him. He's not my best Gunther, but he's a super important trainer because of the 2 MP and the 50% gym damage. And there's quite a few like that. I feel like I never have, and maybe you know a hack for this, I never have affiliation straps for the basic 4 MP trainers.
Right.
Do most people have those? Did I scrap those years ago and not realize it? And they've never been offered again? Or do most people not have those?
So in the strap loot, the armory loot, there, or its predecessor. I'm pretty sure it's in there still now. There is a set of straps that you can get that are for those specific characters, like Showboat Kofi and Woods,
Right.
both Woodses, the one that was Bray and the one that wasn't Bray.
Okay.
But yeah, they're rare. But if you get, like, for example, a modern era, striker, I think Kofi that was Bray is modern. I don't know. If you get their era strap, you do it that way. But yeah, it's pretty rare. I mean, if you can get an affiliation strap on Roxanne and Braun and Mello, those are the ones that you really want the affiliation strap. Sherry, I cannot get an affiliation strap for Sherry no matter how hard I try.
Right.
So, those are the ones where you really want them. But yeah.
I've got about 14 Acro PG era affiliation straps
Right?
for Shane McMahon or whoever.
It's new
And I
CM
can't.
Punk now. That's the Acro PG era now.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
I don't have him, but
Right. I don't
I
either.
don't. Oh, okay. So the strap talk. We've probably come to the end. Do you have anything else to say about affiliation straps?
No, and if we're gonna try and keep it to 30 to 45 to do all that, then we're at 26 in. So nothing else with affiliation straps. But you mentioned Gunther. I know we're talking about 7-star a little bit. Here's
Right.
the softball for this one.
Hear it.
If 7-star is what happens next, and there's a lot of ifs, 7-star includes a new move, because that would be the way things go. What if Tech Gunther gets a move that actually makes his moveset make sense, and then suddenly he's back and we're using him? Then you swap off the affiliation strap for one that you're going to use to fight. But yeah, we'll see.
Has that happened historically where they get a new move when they go up a whole new number?
Yeah,
Has it?
whenever you go up to a new star rating, there's been a new move every time, like 6-star, 5-star, blah blah
Right.
blah. But
So
they were always
arguably,
programmed in. Now
well,
now that
that's
we
what I'm
don't know
saying.
if they have been.
Right. That was the question. Is you're saying Scopely devs might have 600 new moves they're about to roll out when 7-star meta gets here?
That's what
How
the
could
video I
they?
made is all about. That dropped today.
Like, how could you possibly do 600 new move, like revisit that many characters?
They've done it
Give them all a
before,
DDT that does like 20 million damage or something like
right?
that.
Well, if you remember when 6-star went live, or no, 5-star, when 5-star went live, they gave a new mode, and Junkyard Dog went from like the worst character in the game to one of the better ones for a hot minute. Like, he didn't last long, but for a hot minute, Junkyard Dog was one of the better showboats in the game suddenly. So they've
Yeah,
done it before.
I remember seeing that on the old tier lists, and I was like, no way, I don't believe it. Lee, let me ask you this: so, state of the game, 7-star, you think is coming as soon potentially as next month? That's your prediction?
I mean, that's why I put on the video, hear me out. Like, we'll see. But
Right.
historically, somewhere between April and July is when the next meta rolls out. This is a big one, though. Literally, and I mentioned this in the other video, but just real quick, 6-star moves, like those who could data mine the game and hack the game, 6-star moves have been in the game since the 4-star meta. Like, I've heard
Oh.
the stories of that they had that planned out, they were there. As far as we know, 7-star moves haven't been, but if it holds the way it has, then yes, 650 characters will get a new move at 7-star, which that's going to be a lot of video content for us to do.
Sensei Kreese says, I think we're going to see something like 6-star diamond instead of 7-star. That would be a lot easier on the coding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
very
don't know
possible.
about the back end of things, but that's a great theory. I think that's a great theory. Lee, I wonder about this. I would say the most significant change in the game that has happened and permeated the 6-star gold meta, if we're talking about state of the game, would be reversals.
Yep.
Reversals
Big time.
are everywhere now. Champions now feels like playing Minesweeper, where in the old days, you throw any superstar you want in, you swipe, 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 or you click, 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 you're done. We are now in a time period where I'm like, wait, does he boost his MP? Wait, I can't can't use him here. I can't. I've got an MP increase move, so I can like. I'm playing. I'm a slow. I feel like historically I'm a slow feuder. I am now a slower feuder because I have to think through who has a reversal. What do my guys do? What do his guys do? But can I tell you, I
Tell me.
love I love the complexity of reversals. I'm so into it. I'm here for it and I'm okay with it. What do you think?
I like it. It's hard for me at times to just sit there and remember like which one reverses what, which one, and I get caught by it a lot.
Yeah.
But in terms of the depth of the game and the fun factor, it really does increase it because before feuding was take Acro X Pac. Yeah, let's throw him back in the mix because he's good again with the right stuff. Take Acro X Pac and just go in and whoop up everybody and you're done. And the only thing you had to watch out for was Zombie Austin. If somebody had Zombie Austin, you had to watch because you were going to die. Other than that, you were fine, right? And then you used Striker X Pac. But now it's very complex. Very.
I think
intriguing.
they killed that moment. I think they nerfed that moment that made X Pac good. Whenever they redid that Triple Green DX subscription, Sean, I think they nerfed that moment down to like 150%. So X Pac had about 3 weeks in the sun, and then they womp womp.
No, X Pac is still. They nerfed the one that impacted Triple H, the DX Army Triple H. X Pac's still good.
I thought they were. Oh, okay. I was saying I thought it was just like X break damage went from like 1,500% to 150%.
Yeah, but the new X Pac or the X Pac that got renewed was based on column break gems, column break gems.
Oh. Lee,
so that's still life.
I love Magic the Gathering. It's no secret. I've talked about Magic all throughout the history of our show. It's my first love, if there were one, as far as gaming. And anytime a color gets too powerful in Magic, they do something they called balancing the game, which helps reshuffle the power dynamic. So like if power, like let's say Magic is red, blue, white, green, black. So if one of them gets too powerful, they create dynamics to neutralize the power so that you can actually have a solution for what your opponent is doing. Right?
Yeah.
This is kind of the way I view Champions now, that it's gone from gym breaker game to now strategy game. I think it's becoming more strategic and more thought required. And so I like putting reversals on my showdown defense. I like putting reversals on my even in my feud lineup. If I know if it's a 2-click guy, I still put the reversal on that I won't use, just so that when my opponent faces me, the reversal's there.
Yep.
Thoughts on that? Is that just me being salty or what?
No, I mean I think that's not salty at all. That's what they're going for in this meta. Is a lot more strategery, as an ex-president would say, around certain builds, certain moves. And if you're someone like me, my move style is to set it and forget it. And this is where it starts to backfire on me. There were a number of times last feud where I started doing something, I'm like, oh yeah, Jey Uso counters bleed moves. Wouldn't have even thought of that. Or, oh, this person counters move buffing. And all of a sudden I'm in a spot. I lost bad to Shursta. Shursta, shout out, one of the faction leaders, had everything set to destroy everything I did, and I wasn't paying enough attention. Like 3 of my best characters went down 3 matches in a row, and I was like, okay, all right, now I've got to start paying better attention. This is not working. So
Shursta is your kryptonite. I've lost to Shursta in feuds before too, and I went, what the heck just happened? I've had to actually figure out why and what kind of black magic he used to beat me.
Right.
But he's a smart player. He's a leaderboarder, and he's been in the game forever. Shersta is an institution, and I think he leads 5-second pose, if I remember. So shout out to those guys. They do really good stuff. Yeah. They're always in the top, at least the top 5 of the leaderboards. So that's me pandering to those that have beaten me. Anything else to say about reversals? Because if not, it's time to maybe bid our audience adieu and create some other content for them, like get on some power ratings.
That's right. Yeah. So for those watching on Twitch, stay around. We're going to keep doing some stuff. But for those watching on YouTube, hey, come check us out on Twitch. Before, we were not much into making content on our own Twitch channel because we were doing it on the main, but now some changes have happened. Nobody got canceled. We just moved things to our own channels now. And so you're going to see the Champions Chat Twitch light go on randomly at various times. And Rusty and I will be back making content here and then every day on YouTube. Please keep watching on YouTube because we need to keep building that. In fact, we just hit 3,500 subs. Scopely has challenged us to hit 7,500 subs. So we got to come up with 4,000 more people here.
You know, Lee, when you said the light would be on, we're streaming, it reminded me of Krispy Kreme, like the hot donuts now light.
We'll turn the hot donuts light on.
Yeah. Something piping hot for you.
Piping hot podcast. Well, before I hit the outro, do you want to give a comment? Rusty, you updated all of our graphics. We didn't get to say anything. What's new with Champions Chat? All of our graphics. Do you want to say anything about that before I hit it?
No. So, I mean, yeah, this is kind of, if you notice when a wrestler goes away for a while, they come back, they have new ring gear, they have a new story, a new angle. We're going to try to do that too. We're going to have some updated logos, updated roll-ins, maybe an updated sound effect or song at some point. We're having a great time. And I want to say this final thing before you go is a little bit of homework. Of course, we've already hit our Twitch. Shout out, follow us on Twitch. But I also want to say this. We are starting to see some really fun guys in the community creating content as well. So why don't you search on YouTube for our friend Slim Numbers and give him a follow. Just if you're a Champions Chat, he is Champions Chat friends and family, right? If you're a chatter with us, he's in our stable, if you will, right? I don't know that that's really a thing. But he hangs with us. He helps us. I look to him for mathematical equations and solutions, especially in boss battle. The guy has equations figured out before boss battle even starts of what people are going to hit for. He's a brainiac and a half. So shout out to our buddy Slim Numbers.
All right. Well, that's it for this podcast episode. Be sure to like the videos, subscribe on both YouTube and Twitch because it really helps us out. And we try to be super helpful to this community. And we love this community. Like, we do this for free because we love you guys. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye.